can see the thread over the last few weeks, even into the month, the thread of the actual words, pride and humility in just about every case, every scenario that we've experienced. Down the city, when we went to one thing, there was a thread of humility. And since I started this teaching, something has come up every week with pride and humility, if you were engaged enough to recognize it. And did everybody read 2 Samuel chapter 11?
Yes.
Where's Chris? What's chapter 11 about? This could be the general idea. All right, well, we're going to read the whole thing anyway. These are really short chapters. These are just key points because, you know, as we were stressing along the whole teaching, how King Saul and King David were contrasting. And I think God purposely did that in His Word to show how someone leads in pride and someone else can actually make the same mistakes, if not worse, and still lead in humility and still have God's blessing upon them. You know, you're going to pay the price, which we're going to see in a second. All right, so this is 2 Samuel chapter 11. We're going to start right in 1, and we're going to read 11 and 12. And these are key. We'll probably wrap this teaching up on pride and humility tonight. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and read because we had trouble hearing everybody last time. All right, chapter 11, verse 1. It happened in the spring of the year, at the time when kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the people of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. Then it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing. And that woman was very beautiful to behold. So David sent and inquired about the woman. And someone said, "Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam?" That's how you pronounce it. The wife of Uriah the Hittite. Then David sent messengers and took her, and she came to him, and he lay with her. But she was cleansed from her impurity, and she returned to her house. And the woman conceived. So she sent and told David and said, "I am with child." Then David sent to Joab, saying, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah had come to him, David asked how Joab was doing and how the people were doing and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." So Uriah departed from the king's house, and the gift of food from the king followed him. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and did not go down to his house. So when they had told David, saying Uriah did not go down to his house, David said to Uriah, "Did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house?" And Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go to my house to eat and drink, and to lie with my wife? As you live, as your soul lives, I will not do such a thing." Then David said to Uriah, "Wait here today also, and tomorrow I will let you depart." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next day. Now when David called him, he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. And that evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but he did not go down to his house. In the morning it happened that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, "Set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retreat from him, that he may be struck down and die." And so it was, while Joab besieged the city, that he assigned Uriah to a place where he knew there were violent men, or valiant men, probably both. Then the men of the city came out and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servants of David fell, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Verse 18, it says, Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, When you have finished telling the matters of the war to the king, if it happens that the king's wrath rises, and he says to you, Why did you approach so near to the city when you fought? Did you not know that they would shoot from the wall? Who struck Abimelech, the son of Jerub? I don't know how to pronounce that. Jerubaseth. He died in Thebez. Why did you go near the wall? Then you shall say, Your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So the messenger went and came and told David all that Joab had sent by him. And the messenger said to David, Surely the men prevailed against us and came out to us in the field. Then we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. The archers shot from the wall at your servants, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said to the messenger, Thus you shall say to Joab, Do not let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it. So encouraged him. When the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah, her husband, was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house. And she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. We're going to stop there right now. Okay? In them verses, in chapter 11, I have a question, because this is very pertinent to every single one of us, okay? Because things arise in our path, and something happens. So when David was out on the king's roof, looking down over all the houses, and he gazed upon Bathsheba bathing, what did Bathsheba represent in this chapter? Anybody? Go ahead, Isaiah. Lust, temptation, right? Something that's going to take your eyes off the Lord and put them on yourself, right? When David saw Bathsheba bathing, what did he do? Anybody? Jack, give me an answer to that. John? Right. But the very first thing that happened when he saw her, what happened? He was filled with lust, it says, right? What else did David do at this particular moment that is key to everything that happens in our walk? All right? Every time temptation arises, we have a choice, right? What are our choices? Speak up, John. Right? You keep your eyes on the Lord. You can either engage the temptation that is before you, trying to call you away from your walk with Christ and righteousness, or you can deny it. In this case, David entertained his temptation. Right? What did he do? He had the guards go and bring the woman that he was lusting for to his palace, and he laid with her. And what should have David done? Exactly. He should have left the roof and disengaged his temptation. Now this happens to every single one of us, every single day.
He shouldn't have been there in the first place, because all the kings were at war.
Exactly. Joe brought that point up earlier.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to study into that, and I'm going to find out why David was not in the war. For some strange reason, he wasn't there. He had sent his army. Right. Go ahead, Mary.
You know what? Just thinking about it, it's almost like it just was the positive. He might have even beforehand had started something, had opened a door, even that morning. Do you know what I'm saying? Like something